Hello and welcome to the 134th episode of Fur, Fins, and Feathers. Our guest today is Stephanie Moriarity of Bristol County Agricultural School. We're welcome. And you have Smudge, a golden retriever.
I do.
Tell us about all the good things that are happening at Aggie.
I'm one of the companion animal science teachers, and we have a canine program where guests from the community can bring in their animals for grooming, for training, and for daycare on different days of the week. And we teach the students how to complete each of those things.
It's a growing industry.
Groomers and trainers are in high demand. Most are booked out for months.
And it's a wonderful career.
It's a great career where the kids can make their own hours if they were to open a business after high school. And they can grow as they see fit. And
what are some of the the careers that your students go on to?
Some of the careers the kids go on to, obviously groomers, trainers. Some of them will go on to work in the veterinary industry because we do teach them about a variety of different animals within the program. So in the companion animal program, they're working with not only our dogs, but they're working with rodents, rats, mice, hamsters. They have an opportunity to work with ferrets as well as rabbits. Rabbits are really delicate to handle, so if they can handle a rabbit, we always say they can handle any animal, as well as birds. The birds are a little bit challenging for them because birds do bond with people eventually, but it takes a lot of work to become the friend of a bird. So the kids are really good with learning how to train them and socialize our birds. They're also trained in how to manage fish tanks. So they know the ins and outs of fish tank management, and they're all excited when they're able to keep their fish tank running smoothly. They always doubt themselves, but by the end of the term, they're happy that all their fish are still alive and they didn't have any problems. You okay?
Now, Smudge is a golden retriever.
She is a golden retriever, and she comes to work with our students. She's a great playmate. So during daycare, the dogs will occasionally get to play with other dogs. And Smudge is a really safe dog for anybody to play with.
Talk about your daycare program. That's interesting.
The daycare program involves owners dropping their dogs off between 7:45 and 8:15 in the morning. The fee is $10 for the day. The dogs spend about the first 2 hours of the day outside, as is standard for any daycare. They get a rest in the middle of the day because, like us, dogs can get cranky. And then in the afternoon, a different set of students will bring the dogs back out and walk them again. Usually, on average, the dogs walk around 2 miles, and they get an opportunity to play with other dogs or by themselves if they're not a dog that likes other dogs. And the students embedded in the daycare is training in manners. So none of our dogs are allowed to pull on leash. They're taught patience, recall. The kids do a really great job with it.
And it's a great way to spend the day for the
dog.
Sure.
For sure. And the dogs go home nice and tired.
Which I'm sure the owners appreciate that.
Right. After a long day at work, it's hard to get out and walk the dogs yourself.
Now, talk about grooming. Groomers are in high demand, as we just talked about.
They are. It can be a difficult job to learn. Our students, they're young, they catch on really quick. Once a week on Tuesdays, the students get in a dog. Usually it's 2 students working with 1 dog. And they learn how to bathe and dry the dogs, making sure that they're nice and dry so they don't have any skin infections or anything as a result of staying wet. Their senior year, they go back into the grooming lab and they're going to learn fancy cuts, so how to do higher level grooming, how to trim them. And
terriers and poodles and things of that nature.
Yep, the English Cocker Spaniels.
Yes, very definitely. And the person can, an owner can come and drop off the dog?
Yep, you just have to set up an
appointment.
And you can email the BA Canine Center at bcahs.com.
Which I'm sure they're going to put up on the screen later.
And then myself or Miss Blanchette will get back to you. Your dog does need to have a good temperament because we are working with students and the students are learning canine behavior. But obviously we need to make sure the dog is safe for students to work with. And the dog needs to be fully vaccinated, including for kennel cough, which is an optional vaccine that veterinarians offer, but we do mandate that the dogs have that.
Good. And I'm sure many of your students go on to be further educated in canine science.
Yes, we have a lot of students going on to get their degree in animal science. Some students go on to get a business degree and then open a grooming or training facility or daycare facility. Some students go into the veterinary field. One of the things that they don't teach in veterinary school is what normal looks like. So any of the animal sciences, we actually have 4 concentrations. The students can choose between companion animal that focuses on grooming and training and the care of our small critters. They can choose veterinary science, which is a deep dive. Are you trying to? Which is a deep dive into the medical science. The students will be trained to be veterinary assistants, which is kind of like the equivalent of a CNA. And they can go on to college to become a veterinary technician or even beyond that, a veterinarian. We have livestock, where the students take care of our dairy cows, and then we also have equine science, where students are with the horses.
Not cows,
horses.
Horses.
Yes.
I'm looking for the word, horses, yes.
So any student graduating from any of our programs is going to see what normal looks like, because the majority of our animals are healthy, normal animals. And a really interesting thing is we do occasionally have litters of guinea pigs at school, so the students get to learn how the reproductive system works, how to care for babies, what it's precocial when an animal, Smudge, when an animal is born in an advanced state. So we had our little 3-day-old guinea pigs. We had some students visiting from Tufts University, one of the biggest veterinary schools in the country. And the students had never handled baby guinea pigs before. These are veterinary students who have gotten their bachelor's degrees in animal science, my high school students, our high school students, were teaching how to handle these guinea pigs. So that was kind of a cool
experience for
yeah,
them.
For the kids to see that, hey, we know something the veterinary students don't.
So what's a typical day at Aggie for you?
For me, I teach all animal science classes. So the morning, I welcome in the freshmen. Every 5 days, I get a new group of students so that every freshman who comes to the school gets to experience all 9 of our majors or concentrations that they can choose from. So I do we have quick lessons in veterinary science where we welcome in one of the veterinary science teachers. And I do very introductory lessons in everything we do. So the students will experience grooming, the students will experience handling the rabbits, the students will experience handling the mice, and doing a water chemistry on a fish tank. So I think that's probably one of my favorite parts of the day is seeing the new kids experience it all for the first time.
The awe must be incredible.
Yeah, they do I think they really appreciate what they have at Aggie. And they always come with such exciting stories from other majors as well. So it's fun to hear the different stories each week. And then we teach a related course. So every sophomore and junior in the program has a related course where the students are mixed together from concentrations. So my class consists of students from equine science, companion, veterinary, and livestock. And I actually teach animal behavior. But my colleagues will teach animal ethics. They teach career and business management, which is a wonderful class. teaches financials and taxes and how to manage a business, an introduction to that. And animal health. The animal health class goes into vaccination requirements, because whether you work in the veterinary industry or the grooming industry, you need to know what vaccinations the animal needs to be safe.
Exactly.
So that's their sophomore year. Their junior year, they're going to see different teachers, and they're going to learn about animal nutrition, anatomy and physiology. They'll learn genetics, and they have a course in career. So that in the career course is where they actually build a resume and a cover letter so that they can go and start potentially applying for co-op jobs.
When I went for the expo recently, and I got to talk to some of the students, the stories they told me were fascinating.
They do have a lot of great opportunities, the kids.
Some of them told me they got on the bus at early before dawn, and they had a long day. Some of them didn't get home till 5 o'clock.
Some of them will travel 2 hours to get to school. It's a very unique school.
And the thing that surprised me, not surprised me, but really inspired me, was they couldn't wait to get to school in the morning. They don't give up, they gung-ho.
I mean, they have their favorite dogs. The students, when I bring Smudge, she thinks she's a celebrity when she walks through the door. She's got 100 best friends as soon as that door opens. And every dog is treated like that. So if you're considering bringing your dog for daycare or grooming, your dog too will become a celebrity as soon as they walk through the door. And the kids take such great pride in taking care of the dogs and excited when the dogs are excited to see them. It's heartwarming and exciting for the kids to have these opportunities growing up.
Many breeds.
Any breed.
Any breed, but many. You own a Newfoundland.
I personally own a Newfoundland. My colleague raises English Cocker Spaniels and is incredibly successful in the show ring.
Very talented.
And that's another great opportunity for the kids. They get to know these dogs that are in the show ring, that are doing trick training, that are successful in the show rings. They're not my dogs, but
some of them have been in my ring as a judge.
And they're beautiful, aren't they?
They are. Beautiful. I love those English Cockers.
Also celebrities when they walk through the door.
Do you have a favorite breed?
I
You like Smudge, obviously.
love my Golden Retrievers and my Newfoundlands, but German Shepherds take a special piece of my heart.
Very nice.
They love their owners so much.
So what are the other programs at Aggie they're all very successful?
Yes. Recently we expanded, so we used to be small animal science and large animal science, but we were able to create 4 different concentrations. We have companion animal science, grooming and training, our veterinary science, which is a deep dive into veterinary medicine. The students will get to observe surgeries and appointments for people bringing in their animals for routine care. We have livestock. Our students manage both our beef cows and our dairy barn. Recently, I think we received some of the cleanest milk in the area, so that means you have happy cows. So they do a great job taking care of that. And then the horse program, where students actually get to not only manage a horse barn, but get to do a little bit of riding on the horses as well.
And many of your graduates have gone on to very rewarding careers.
Yes.
At some highly named schools.
Yes. A lot of students like to go to UMass Amherst. I've heard a lot of students going to the University of Maine at Orono, Johnson & Wales, URI. I have one student who I'm so proud of. She went on to go to Cornell. She was actually a large animal student and one of a great aspect of our program is no matter which concentration you're in, you get one term in every other concentration. So she had a term with me at the time, and I was teaching veterinary assisting, which has since changed. And she loved the small animals so much, she decided she wanted to go to vet school. And I'm just so proud of the motivation and initiative to roll into Cornell.
When I was the president of the Wampanoag Kennel Club, I brought, they had, and they still do, a scholarship from the Wampanoag Kennel Club, and I presented it one night, and Noel Corello, I believe his name, graduated from Aggie, went on, got the scholarship that night, and went on to UMass, and then ended up going to England. And he just graduated, I believe, this year with a doctor of veterinary medicine.
He did, and we are so proud of him, and he comes back every year to share his journey with our students, to inspire them and tell them it is possible. It's a long road, but if you want to take it, it's there for you.
And that, he is truly a success story.
For sure.
So for a typical day, you teach in the morning?
Yep.
All day?
I teach all day. We have a little break to do some grading and prepare classes around lunchtime. And in the afternoon, our juniors and seniors come with us. So there's two teachers. I'm the junior teacher. Junior year, the students focus on the focus is birds, reptiles. We do have a veterinary assisting course in the companion animal curriculum. It does not go, you can't learn as much in one term as you can learn in a year, so it's very topical on coverage, but it is an introduction. It gives the kids a taste of what it's like in the veterinary field. And then
go on.
We have two marine courses as well, so a little bit of oceanography their junior year, and then study about marine mammals their senior year.
Your students travel from all over.
They do.
Where do they be? From where to where?
I've had a student from Falmouth before. I
Came
think
all the way from Falmouth?
From Falmouth. It's not a short distance.
No, not at all.
To come to us. There's some students from the South Shore right now, I think.
We have a lot from Swansea.
Yep.
Very popular in Swansea.
Smudge.
So tell us about her as a golden retriever.
As a golden retriever, she has the personality of a golden retriever. They are in the sporting group. They are bred to retrieve game.
How old is Smudge?
She's 2, and she loves to play when it's playtime, and she's very smart and easily trained. But when it's time to take a nap, she settles right down to where she should.
Now your students train the dogs.
Yes. So they train during daycare, but the 4th term of every year, they have an opportunity to bond one-on-one with a dog for the Canine Good Citizen test. And
very
that
good.
test is given by an AKC trainer. I know you. We have somebody come in from the community who does that for a job, who is a dog trainer. And the dogs have to pass certain obstacles: walking on a loose leash, coming when they're called, being approached by a stranger, walking through a crowd. So the students work with their dog one-on-one for 8 weeks. And then a lot of the dogs pass, but something we really stress to the students is there are different levels of dogs coming in. One student could have a dog that has already passed the test, could already pass the test. And of course that dog will pass the test and improve and be better. But another student could have a dog that is really low level and maybe has never walked on a leash before. And that dog may not pass the test. And we always stress to the students it's not a failure. you maybe brought that dog further than another dog who has already would have passed the test if we gave it on day one. So that's a really great learning opportunity for the kids to have a challenge.
I don't want to be a sexist, but do you have most of your students female, or do you have any males?
We do have both girls and boys in the class.
Oh, very good. Okay. I would think a lot of the guys might like marine related courses.
We actually, a mix. A lot
Really?
of the kids really enjoy the marine courses. I think it's something that surprises them when it comes up, although it is in our program of studies. I think they're a little bit surprised when it happens, but the students also get their own fish tank to manage. So they get to choose what type of fish go in their fish tank, and it's theirs to manage for the whole year. So I think they like that aspect of it too.
Great learning opportunity for both women and men.
Yes, for sure.
How can we can donate scholarships?
There are scholarships available for the kids. There's also the farm to table dinner where the public's invited to buy tickets. There's actually a fund where students apply for, and many are awarded with money to start a business. So coming to that farm to table event, I believe it's in September or maybe early October, is a great way. Yes, and it will be next year. So look out for that. And of course, supporting the kids at events like Fall Show.
Which was amazing.
We had the most
attendance. There were so many
ever.
people this year.
Mm-hmm. The biggest attendance ever.
I think people have come to realize the importance of Aggie in the community.
For sure. The vocational programs just offer the kids so much more than just an education in animals or trees. There's collaboration, communication, teamwork, problem solving. We have the time to let the kids figure stuff out on their own because our classes are a little bit longer than a general academic class. In the morning, we have the kids for about 2 hours, and in the afternoon, it's, I think, 2 hours and 40 minutes that we have the students.
What time does school start in the morning?
School starts at 8:10, and school ends at 2:30.
And I've been there at school, after school, and many students are still there.
Yep, we have student workers who work in our dairy barn, who work with our horses, and who work with our companion animals. And we also have a lot of clubs and sports for the students.
It's a wonderful, wonderful school.
I'm very lucky to be there, and I'm very lucky to work with the students who like to come. We are admissions based, and there are about, I think, 700 applicants each year, and we have 167 spots. So making sure the students do their best in school and don't have a lot of unexcused absences in 7th and 8th grade is really important.
It's amazing. Every time I go, I always learn so much more.
And sometimes we learn stuff too on the go. We teach the kids as we're learning, because with animals, there's plenty of situations you've never encountered before, just when you think you've seen it all.
She is really very calm and collected.
She is. One of the things we talk about is behavior and how it can be genetic. So when I purchased her for my own family, I wanted to make sure I met the parents, and both parents were also very calm and collected.
What is her longevity?
Golden Retrievers live probably between 9 and 11 years. A big problem for Golden Retrievers is, unfortunately, hemangiosarcoma. It's cancer of the spleen, and you don't know about it until it's too late to do anything about it. So that was a big consideration for my family, is are we willing to take that chance?
I know they're doing a lot of research of the Golden Retriever Club of America.
Yes.
They are doing a lot
There's
of
some new research on trying to get tests out there to see if the genetics are being passed down. They're also researching the best time to spay and neuter the puppies, because most families do have their pets spayed or neutered. And there's a lot of contradicting research, which makes it really hard. One of the activities I did with my kids regarding her was I had the students research when was the best time to get her spayed. And some kids, consistent with the research, said you should spay her right after her first heat but before her second heat, and they had reasons to back it up. And other kids said, no, you have to wait until she's 2. And there were a few kids who said, spay her early because this is why it benefits. And they all had great reasons, and there's no right answer because the research was correct, which really brought to the kids' attention how challenging it can be to navigate animal science.
They have to do a lot of research.
They do. And hemangiosarcoma was one of the things that they brought up in relation to spaying her. There's a certain period that hypothetically will reduce the risk of cancer.
She's very alert. Look at her hearing something out there. Her ears went right up under her attention. Now, when they come for these various programs, they do not have to be, they have to pass the tests, the medical
Yep, they have to be vaccinated.
But they have to be vaccinated and everything, but they do not need to be mixed breeds are acceptable.
Mixed breeds are acceptable. A lot of people are concerned about pit bulls. Acceptable. Shepherds are acceptable. We'll take the dog in, of course, ask if it has any behavioral histories. We do need the dog to be manageable. But we also do teach our kids how to manage certain generally rambunctious behaviors.
So it's a really good program for owners, the students.
Yep, the owners benefit because they bring home a tired, clean dog, and the students benefit because they learn how to do it.
It's wonderful. It's a great school. It's a great program. I'm very honored to have had you on our show.
Well, thank you for having us.
And I would like to keep having Aggie people come.
I'll spread the word for you.
Well, thank you. Well, episode 134 is concluding, and it was great to see you, Stephanie.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.